first to McKinney, Texas. Hi, Chris. You're on the air.
Hi, Diane.
Hi.
It's an absolute pleasure to get to speak with you. I've been a
Thank
long-time
you.
listener for a long time.
Thank you.
So in New York, you've got the story of two candidates that are, quote-unquote, reformed, and it seems like with the recent revelations about Anthony Weiner's activities that Eliot Spitzer might come out looking like roses. So I wanted to ask your panelists, how do you think, maybe even a positive way, that these recent news about Anthony Weiner might actually help Eliot Spitzer's candidacy for the New York Comptroller?
That's what I asked. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, I think it's interesting how whenever one of these scandals comes up in the news, it makes us look back and think about all of the other politicians who have had similar scandals. And whether or not it helps them or hurts them, I think is hard to say. Yes, maybe this will help Eliot Spitzer because he doesn't look as bad. I don't know. I mean, it's in both cases, these are men who, after their falls, have made decisions to come back and have made decisions to allow these things to go back into the public sphere. Anthony Weiner didn't have to be running for mayor right now. He could have run in a few years. He could have gone through with the therapy that Huma was referring to. They could have worked through these problems, and maybe they still are, and maybe it is a personal issue, as she said. But the bottom line is they made the choice to let this be a story. And the same is true for Eliot Spitzer.
Well, there are people making the argument that what Spitzer did is less bad than what Anthony Weiner did. Although what Spitzer did was, of course, not just a violation of his wedding vows, but a violation of the law. He also faces
I've forgotten, Susan. What did he do?
He employed prostitutes.
Thank you.
Client number 9, you may remember, was his.
It's monumental
moniker.
hypocrisy after he had prosecuted this particular
Exactly.
crime so,
Right.
Shall we say, eagerly and aggressively in New York
Now,
City.
he has a credible opponent for the nomination for Comptroller, Scott Stringer, who I think is the Manhattan Borough president, and who thought he was sleepwalking to the nomination until Spitzer announced that he was going to run against him. I don't think that race is over yet either. I think let's wait and see what happens in the primary.
I'm going to remind you all of what one listener reminded me, that controller is the first pronunciation in the dictionary. Comptroller is the second. So,
And may we quote Stephen Colbert, who said when interviewing Eliot Spitzer, someone who wants that job should really show more self-comptrol.
you did it. You did it.